Thank you for being here today, and most importantly, thank you for restoring trust and faith in the FBI, which has been severely eroded under the Biden administration. Thank you for your service and your continued service in this capacity. On April 2nd, 2025, Charlie posted on X, assassination culture is spreading from the left. 48% of liberals say it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk. 55% say the same about Donald Trump. And California activists are naming ballot measures after Luigi Mangione. The left is being whipped into a violent frenzy and set back. Whether losing an election or losing a court case justifies a maximally violent response, end quote. And unfortunately for Charlie, that reaction also came when they couldn't win a debate on a college campus. You cannot be intellectually honest and say that this problem is on both sides. It's not just what happened to President Trump, it's also what just happened to Charlie. We've got to win America where violence is encouraged. Former President of the United States that opens up his campaign in 2019, that's Joe Biden, by saying that his opponent is a, quote, existential threat to this country. Houston, disagreement are not existential threats. They are not Nazis. They are not fascists. They are not racist. They are not evil. They're not irredeemable. They are your fellow Americans who have been respected on Trump, their fiction on Trump, and what they're meant to do. Whether we should have strong soccer borders, whether or not we should have safe communities, whether or not we should have places to worship our God, and not worry about being shot. Whether or not cities that are not overwhelmed by drugs and crime, whether or not we have two genders, and whether or not we have common sense in our policies and our values. People that believe these things are not existential threats. I happen to be one of these people that believes all of the above, and as someone that served this country in combat, I can assure you I am not an existential threat to this country because I swore to protect it. I also want to point out, how many cities have you seen burn grounds to Charlie Kirk's death? Zero. Zero love. Right. No killing. None. Simply gather and pray for his soul, his family, and his country. And that's exactly what he represents. And while we might be dead, this righteous anger...
Man, I don't like this, man. This is stupid.
Charlie is not dead because of what he said. He's dead. People listen. My time is limited, so I have a few questions for you, sir. And again, thank you very much for being here for service. In your experience in the FBI, what is this rise in political violence and other associated crimes that you have been investigating so far this year? And if so, is this trend and motive left-wing or right-wing violence?
You know, to speak generally, sir, there is too much political violence, and it has been a political rise on too many fronts.
How do you solve this?
We solve this by giving the FBI more authority to go into the private sector. There are too many online platforms, there are too many social media platforms, there are too many gaming platforms. There are too many places for people from America and around the world to get together without their parents knowing anything about it, without their schools knowing anything about it, and sexually testing minds of our children, affecting them, radical ideology, and that is the root cause of this problem. We must tackle it. Not 19 America anymore. In 2025, cyberspace needs to be tackled.
Engineers, your brother sat right there at that scene. You started to me here, and I had a very detailed question about Matthew Thomas Crooks, the shooter responsible for the assassination attempt on President Trump's life. I didn't get an answer from Chris Wray that day, and I submitted written questions to the FBI and into the record of this committee. And I want to resubmit those questions today because I think there's still waiting answers to those questions. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit them to the record, please. I'd like to ask you, sir, and the FBI, for your leadership, to please respond to these questions they can, and you commit to doing that.
As soon as it's relevant.
Thank you very much. I will end with this. Charlie Kirk is not dead because of what he said. Charlie Kirk was dead because people listened. He set up a tent that said, prove me wrong, exercise his First Amendment right. That's all he did. And we will continue to do so in this country in order to preserve this constitutional republic that I use back. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I begin, I want to caution my colleagues on, one-sided violence. We just heard that there were no riots on the right. We're literally sitting in buildings with a giant riot by supporters of the president. Right. We also heard that all of the and have said that Trump in 2016, the current Vice President of the United States said, Trump is either a cynical asshole or he's America's Hitler. So, this is the problem. I don't want to have a big argument, but you want me to sit here and with one brush, the whole left. No, there are extremes on the left, and there are extremes on the right.
My bad, I'm sorry.
What's going on? In this building. Director, let me say first, thank you for being here, and I'm happy to hear that you want to do more on the social media platform. Okay, it's crazy what's going on the social media platform. There are so many conspiracy theories on what's going on with Charlie Cook. Israel assassinated him, right? There are conspiracy theories about personal love life. All that. It is totally random. Right? Talking about how what's been released as far as the dialogue between the perpetrator and his roommate is manufactured by the FBI, manufactured by the administration. It is allowing foreign governments to just perpetrate these platforms, all of these bots, all of the time to weaponize Americans. You see what's going on here? This is a byproduct of all of that. What's going on in the streets is a byproduct of all that. What's happening, celebrating Luigi Mangione, is a byproduct of all of that. So if we want to do something, then we should talk about Section 230. We should talk about how we're going to make sure that we don't let foreign governments poison our children's minds. And so I would want to do that, Director.
I'll work with you on 230 any day.
No problem. So, now, I want to take your attention back a second, okay? Breaking news. Pastor Patel is nominated to be the FBI director. Dan Bongino is nominated to be the number 2 at the FBI. MAGA celebrates choices, bells are ringing out. The team that sought out every podcast microphone to talk about the Epstein list. And things were finally different. It began. They produced white binders. Phase 1, we got that. Your name's on it. Right? And then a memo comes out all of a sudden and says, there's no list. Oh no. These binders never happened. You said the conspiracy theories around Epstein just aren't true. They never happened. Yesterday, and said the FBI did not possession any criminal evidence that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone but himself. According to the evidence the FBI has, the number of names on the list is here.
The index has been released, and the number of people involved in that trafficking operation were charged in 2000.
Other than Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, your testimony in the Senate here that according to the evidence, the number of other names is 0.
That were charged. That based on credible evidence.
Well, who are the other names? Give me the other names that weren't charged.
We are not releasing the names of anyone. Because the Department of Justice never does that of anyone. And it didn't have any credible information.
Okay, let me move forward. The president has, you've seen the picture of the woman's body with the writing and the president's signature. The president says that's not his. Okay? The president says it's not his. The Republican colleagues say it's not his. The administration say it's not his.
will you be opening up an investigation into the Epstein estate for putting out a fake document with the president's signature linking him to the world's largest pedophile ring? Will you opening that investigation?
On what basis?
On what basis? They literally put out a fake document according to the president with a fake signature. It's a forgery of the president of the United States signature. That's the basis.
Sure.
Okay. I look forward to that investigation.
Taking the Bravo underway.
Gentleman from California.
Director Patel, as you know, my state, California, is home to the worst public known as California high-speed rail. It's probably a misnomer. Earlier this year, I joined our counterpart, President Sean Duffy, doing violence review of federal money the state has received, and the outcome was that the state does not comply with the terms of billions of dollars of funding. That's actually goes in. And so that federal funding has now been put off, but a lot of us in California still have questions as to where all the money went for 17 years in to this project, and absolutely nothing has been built, not a single bit of track has been laid. There are those stations that are near the
My grandma literally kept her cookie recipe locked in a box. Nobody was getting in. Turns out, identity theft is way easier than paper, and that's why there's the fight. Look, you might not be able to lock down your personal info like grandma's cookies. Lifelong monitors for threats and alerts you to suspicious activity. Expert reports and identity theft occurs.